I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back with my girl. Still here. I'm just living off of my platonic love towards Adam Driver.
Oh boy, I think we all are.
Platonic because he's married and I respect boundaries.
Look at that. Respect. We have been standing him all day. Very excited to actually get to talk about him. Guys, welcome. Saturday Night Live after show. My name's Amy Maestri. This lady over here, though, Steph Sabra.
Hey, Amy is our in-house comedian, also sketch writer. So during her special segment, she does the best thing ever. It's called Anatomy of a Sketch, and she breaks it down in the eyes of a true comedian. And I just watch and think about how I'm going to propose to her in the future.
Well, yeah, that's typically how it goes. So I'm expecting pretty elaborate things from the proposal, just so you know. And Steph is our in-house comedy connoisseur, social justice warrior, badass queen. If you didn't see our episode last week, she dropped bars on how dope Lizzo is. So everyone should go watch that,
I'm going to tweet at her today, so if you could retweet that, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yes, please do. Please do. So we are going to break down every sketch of the evening from this episode, which was, of course, Adam Driver with musical guest Halsey. We're going to be talking about each one of the sketches. We'll talk about the musical performances and weekend update. And like Steph said, I'll do our special segment, which is the anatomy of a sketch, where we will I will break down one of the sketches, talk about what worked in it, kind of all the formats and the devices that they used in it. And Steph I don't know, she might do, there might be something about news.
Maybe.
She might have some gossip. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's very low energy stuff here.
Yeah. I have no energy.
We're just going to keep it at a level 1.
I have vocal fry.
So, expectations going into this episode. Adam Driver, this was his third time hosting. Obviously, you're a fan from our opening.
Yeah, you guys might not know this about me, but I'm a ride or die Star Wars fan as well. I host the Star Wars news show at our sister network, Popcorn Talk, Thursdays, 4 p.m. PST. Anyways, yes, big Adam Driver fan. Actually, huge Adam Driver SNL hosting fan. He has some of my favorite sketches as a guest host, which surprised me when he was first coming onto the scene because he's kind of exploded in just the past few years. And the past 2 times, particularly the last one, I think in 2016, I loved in the Undercover Boss. I'm so glad they brought back.
Yes. I feel like they're doing a good job for him, it being his third time hosting and pretty short period of time because he did kind of, really blow up a lot over the past few years, and bringing in new, fresh stuff for him and still really playing to his wheelhouse, bringing back some of those characters that he's already done. I feel like they're giving him a good mix of things and they're throwing a lot of good stuff at him, which you always want to see when you have a host that's that strong. So let's just jump in. Let's talk about the cold open. I feel like this is what we're always talking about. They literally took it from in a normal setting to a crazy setting, which is so great because it gets stale, it gets repetitive when we just see them in the Oval Office. And, the debate sketches are obviously a different game. But I thought this was a lot of fun, just taking it to that insane place. What were your thoughts about the cold open?
So good. I love the play on the devil because let's be real, what these people are doing and kind of how we're brushing crimes under the rug in the name of keeping someone in office is you're straight from Hades. You can't tell me anything else. And so I thought Kate McKinnon did such a good job of being the devil. And I mean, I guess the devil could be a woman. I just feel like if God has a sex, she would be a woman. I don't believe that either, but Kate McKinnon can play it all.
That's true, yeah. We're just we'll just give a pass to anything because it's Kate. And then we had John Lovitz come into play Alan Dershowitz, which was a great little surprise.
I think they messed up his cue cards a few times, but you just gotta love his voice.
Yeah, I'll just listen to him all day. They went in hard on the Epstein jokes, which I appreciated. I was they're just coming in with fire now.
See, this is what I love about comedy and why it must be protected at all costs, because they say it how it is. I think oftentimes we've become a society where people who run like their ethics by morals and their decisions and their opinions through kind of a moral compass feel shy to say things how it is, and they're like, oh, it's too taboo, I don't want to cause controversy. And it's like Epstein was a criminal.
Yeah.
Like a fierce criminal predator. Go at him.
Yeah.
And they did that, and I loved it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like whenever there's a joke made at a predator's expense, no one should be going, ooh.
And they did. The crowd did. I'm like, get on your feet. You better laugh. Like,
Steph is actually not allowed in the audience at SNL because whenever there's been a predator joke, she has charged the stage chanting and cheering for them.
yes. Protector of women, Steph Sabra. Sabra 2020.
Oh, I voted for it yesterday. I already wrote it, and I was a write-in ballot.
I'm taking all the people of color, all the women, and all the white men like Jeff who support us
Yes.
with me. Jeff Graham's our producer in the booth. What up, Jeff?
Hey, sorry guys, I struggled with the buttons, but I am here, and I'm on the Sabra train.
There we go. I think he was a little nervous at first. He's like, I don't think I'm getting
like,
brought
I don't
on
know.
the train.
She's getting a
but
little
no.
bit
I was
crazy.
like, I know I've been invited on the train, but of all the voices that need to be heard, I'm still low on the list. So do I have?
But you
Yes,
get to
look.
participate.
Okay, I'm in.
There we go. All inclusive. But yeah, the cold open was super strong. I love Beck's Mitch McConnell. It's always so creepy and so spot on. And Cecily's Susan Collins is great. Everyone in the cold open, I thought that it was great that they just kind of came with fire right off the bat. And then we jumped into the monologue. What a good, proper monologue. Just him up there doing his thing, owning the space, owning the stage, so confident, so comfortable. I thought the writing was funny, but man, this is only gonna work for someone like him who's so confident and who can just go up there and own the stage and own a bit like this, where you do have to let it breathe and take beats and just kind of let it be weird. So I absolutely loved it. What about you, another fellow Adam Driver fan?
I loved Adam Driver's monologue. I thought it played to his skill set perfectly, and he focused on his characteristics that I think everyone's so interested about, like how you would assume he could be a little bit rude or just a little bit short, but I loved it. I will say my favorite part about this monologue ever was when he started taking up time, and he actually said, I don't know if it's he's like, what did he say? Sorry. He kept going, and then he made a little note. He said, I don't know if it's transphobic or just really dated. And that was about, he was trying to take up time so that he didn't have to do the last sketch of the night. It's unconfirmed if that's actually what happened, but if it is, that is such the energy that I need. And I haven't seen that since Don Cheadle's episode where he wore a shirt that said protect trans kids, and that was awesome. So both of them can definitely join the Sabra 2020 ride.
Yes. I think they're already out on the campaign trail right now. They're painting the side of the tour bus as we speak.
They're the best.
No, totally agreed. I feel like a lot of his jokes they reminded me of Ellen DeGeneres stand-up. Like random observational, just when he started to hit that middle section of like, I don't know, let's see, what else? And hitting these kind of like weird, quirky, random observations. It reminded me of like very much Ellen DeGeneres, but like weirder. But I enjoyed him so much, and he just sets the show off on such a good tone.
I also just love that this happened. Just
Oh
look at this.
my gosh, yes.
So weird. I'm like, this happened on national TV live.
He's so funny.
But again, the way that he just walked back into frame,
Yeah.
I am a sucker for someone just awkwardly walking into frame as they stare at the camera.
Me too.
It's such a mood. Is that how I'm supposed to say it?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
It's very much a mood, Jeff. I love it. So the first sketch of the night after this, we're going to save for our special segment. So we will be talking about that at the end of the show, which is actually great because we can jump right in to your boy Kylo Ren back for another Undercover Boss.
It was so good, Amy. It was so good. I I loved it because the people who work for Kylo Ren in Star Wars are the exact same, where they are just complete nunchucks. I loved how they played with it, and I actually love that they didn't do a spoiler at all. They just started where they left off, which was really smart because I don't know if people live under a rock like Jeff Graham who haven't seen the last Star Wars. It would suck if an SNL sketch was the reason why it got ruined. So I can confidently let you know that there's no information about what happens.
Yeah, they do a good job of just kind of taking you right up to there and then just leaving it. I loved the first time they did this. Bobby Moynihan was a standout in that the last time they did it. And in this, everyone's reactions to him. And I like the fact that they just call it out this time. They're just like, that new intern's Kylo Ren, right? Just going right in for it. But, oh man, Adam Driver's timing. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
He was made for this kind of humor, and so it's just so perfect putting him in that weird, dark, intense place,
Deadpan.
but letting him just go on these really fun comedic beats the whole time.
And he killed Chloe at the end. R.I.P. She got
Poor
a lot of
Chloe.
time this episode. Go
She
girl.
did. Yeah, it was good seeing her on there a little bit more until she was stabbed with a lightsaber.
It's fine. That's a good way to go.
Yeah, you know what? If you're gonna go, it might as well be by Kylo Ren stabbing you with a lightsaber.
Yeah,
Why not?
exactly.
Which of course led to the great line at the end of him just being like, "Well, I think it went okay because I made 4 friends and I only killed one of them." So very Kylo Ren. And then from creepy Kylo Ren intern to creepy director for a Del Taco commercial.
Oh my god.
Just as intense, just as weird. What were your thoughts on this Del Taco commercial?
It was so weird. It's one of those things that I don't love repetitive humor. It works sometimes. You see it with Family Guy and American Dad. They have that same style where they'll repeat a line over and over again until it gets funny. And that did happen, but it is really aggressive form of comedy. But I thought it was a really good combo between him, Beck, and Kyle.
Yeah, I think, oddly enough, I think the repetitive nature of it was my least favorite part, which is kind of like the whole bit. But I just loved the weird intensity from Adam Driver of just him just yelling all the time, like, well, now you look like a pervert. Like, just these random
As they're making
observations.
this guy take his pants down and gyrate into the air.
And I think just the idea of someone being that intense as a director for a Del Taco commercial and seeing no difference in the delivery, the line delivery, of him just being so weird, just being like, well, you don't want to kill yourself, you just want a taco.
Yeah.
Like, there's no difference between any of the lines. So it's such a weird sketch, but it was quick, it moved well, and I think everyone's performances made it work really well. And speaking of Chloe, I don't know if they even intended to do that wide shot when they pulled out and you just see Chloe kind of like standing and laughing, staring straight ahead. I think it was intentional.
Me too.
But it almost looks like it might not have been too, but I still enjoyed it either way.
Mm-hmm. Side note, if you're watching us right now, we love you. Thank you for tuning in with us live. We are live Tuesdays at 5 p.m. PST. Make sure to hit that like button. Leave us a comment after you're finished watching this video so we can keep the convo going. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us those 5 stars. Leave us a review. Those are extra feisty and spicy, and you know we love that.
We love the feisty and spicy.
We love it.
That's what everyone calls us. Feisty and spicy.
Duh.
I think
It's been our nickname
spicy,
for like
right?
over 3 decades.
Everyone
Jeez.
should know this. Common knowledge. Google it.
Google.
Someone put it on Wikipedia now.
Put it on my wiki feed.
So let's talk about this PBS Kids sketch, The Science Room. So another recurring for Adam Driver, which is just, it's so great seeing him be so angry with children. Just gonna say it.
Relatable.
What a great idea for a sketch, though, of this science guy who has to deal with stupid kids.
Okay, but also not so stupid. Cecily brings up a fair point. I luckily have not struggled with this issue that much in my lifetime. However, it is so interesting to think about women or adults talking about their sex lives and the areas that men and women can improve in, particularly men. They're a little bit behind on some things. But having a kid interpret it, I think, is so good. And I'm glad that they went with that.
But her and Mikey as kids are great.
Yeah.
I feel like the gold standard of playing a child on SNL is Gilda Radner, because oh my God, she just played little kids so well, and I feel like they're living up to it. They both do a really good job.
She's like a master class in that. I think if you, there's no way Kristen Wiig for Gilly didn't study Gilda's characters.
Exactly. I think everyone should study Gilda's characters.
I study Gilda, and I will never do character work like that.
But I really enjoyed this. Again, it flowed well. I'll say all night, the sketches, there wasn't one that I felt like went too long, which is rare.
I have to say I'm so happy that I genuinely enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
Obviously, Eddie Murphy, I was cracking up. That was like true SNL glory of really laughing at every sketch, but I liked every single sketch they did.
Yeah. Yeah, they all seemed like they were good length. They flowed well. Like, something hit in every single one. And in this one, I love whenever someone calls attention to something weird going on in a sketch. You can't always do it and get away with it. But in this, after having that conversation about who comes first, and Adam Driver was just like, this was an awful conversation. Sometimes when you have that person to just call attention to it, it makes it even funnier when done in the right ways, and I feel like they did it the right way in this one.
Yeah. I know who did it in the chat. What up? Said, I'm going to scream the C word into my shirt in 3, 2, 1. Such a good ending to that sketch.
Oh, great ending. A good ending. A night of good endings, too, where they had good, strong buttons to end out all the sketches.
May your sex life have good endings as well, because I know that's what this sketch was trying to tell you all at home.
I hope that Cecily's character is listening, that she knows there is hope.
You deserve better! You deserve to finish happy! I am the champion of women!
That's just all the rest of the show is going to be. It's just going to be just Steph shouting feminist chants into the microphone, and I am into it. Speaking of feminism, let's talk about this R&B song, Slow, that does not end well for the ladies. We got to see Halsey jump into this. I know I was hoping to see her in sketches because she's great in sketches. But we got to see her in this one. What did you think of this?
I just want to take a leap of faith and say I feel like Adam Driver has to be the most giving partner, because there is no way it's a coincidence that we have this many sketches being like, men, do your job. Do your job and do it better than you're doing now, because there's issues. And I just thought that it was a really funny premise. I love that he got the really deep voice. Really gave me some Keanu Reeves vibes in that outfit.
Oh, yeah. I see it.
But I liked it.
I think every time they went to him, he knows how to milk a laugh, too, because he knows what that voice sounds like. So he was matching everything so well, for his face, for his body language, everything about it. And then, of course, at the end, that 1 second goes by and those boys were out of there. So maybe Cecily's character was right. Maybe everything her sister was saying is, it's true.
It's true.
For the boys in the Slow music video anyways, yes.
But yeah, I love Halsey. I think she's such a gem.
Is that a good pivot?
Oh my God.
Let's pivot to this musical performance.
Yes. Okay, can I just say what a come up for Halsey? You know my issue with her, not the last performance, but she went from two times before when she was on SNL. It was her first time being a musical performer for SNL. She had brought on G-Eazy. At the time, they had a hit song on, and they were also madly in love. I did not love that choice of hers, because it's such a big moment to be on SNL, and I just don't think that he would have shared the stage with her, and I think she deserved it in all its glory. Luckily, the universe works for good people. She was able to come back. She hosted and performed. And then this time to see her back with her new album that just was released and had 2 songs. One was a complete dig at him, and she just looked stunning, sounded stunning, is such a come up
Yes.
Hell yeah, Halsey.
Oh my God, yes. Thank you. And even in the second time that she performed, she got to do the same and come at him in one of those songs. Because I agree, like, especially at that time when she came on to do that song with him, she had so many standalone fire songs that she did not have to do that one. And yeah, you're right. Like, you think, geez, he's like, yeah, Halsey, come on and do a show with me.
No.
Well, maybe because she's more famous than he is.
Yeah, but still no.
But no, I love everything about her. Her style, her voice, what she stands for, what she speaks to. This new album, if you guys haven't heard it, whew,
It's really good.
it is really, really good. It's very, like, I like that she can do a range of everything.
Yeah, she's having a Lady Gaga, what was her album, Joanne moment.
Yes. Totally. This is like, it's a very different but still Halsey album, which is cool. And yeah, I loved both of her performances. I like that she always has fun with her performances on SNL too. Like the staging, everything. This first one, she starts on a bull. I mean, come on. It's gangster.
In the words of Paris Hilton, that's hot.
And in the words of Colin Jost, I don't know. Let's talk about Weekend Update. Pivot! Did you have any favorite jokes before we get into the characters?
I loved when Colin Jost couldn't finish the joke because I think he was going to drop the R word, right?
Yeah.
That's where the rhyme seemed to be going. I'm totally for you not saying that.
I was very glad he did not.
Did Che put that one in?
Probably because he was like, I would have said it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they refrained from it.
It is so funny how biased the crowd is towards Jost, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they just don't find Che as funny, but Che's humor is different than the typical SNL fan, I would say.
Yeah, and I think he plays into it so much now. It's almost become a game between him and the audience of him just being like, hey, did I get you? Did I spook you? And them just kind of giving those reactions so that he's kind of feeding into it too. So I almost feel like it's like a tennis match between him and the audience now.
Did you have any favorite ones?
I loved and it wasn't even the punchline, but just Jost's description of Mitch McConnell saying, Mitch McConnell seen here calmly watching an orphanage burn. Just because it was spot on to the way his creepy ass face looks.
He always has the best Mitch McConnell ones.
He does, the way that he describes how he looks or like what he's looking at. No, I loved that. And I loved the, and Che probably caught shit for this one too, but I just liked his delivery on that in 257 years, women will finally receive the same pay as men. So just like, calm down.
Yeah. Just hold on. Be a little patient.
Stop
Seriously.
complaining. It's only 257 years.
Side note that when Michael Che made the joke about the World War II hero, his name was Doris Miller. The family actually... Okay, so the joke was the U.S. Navy has for the first time ever named an aircraft carrier in honor of an African-American sailor. He must have been pretty brave joining the Navy, not knowing how to swim. The ship will be called the USS Guy from the Village People. His family was not so happy with that, and they replied, Miller's great nephew said, "We watched in horror and disbelief at the level of insensitivity and racist undertones. In addition to have a black American doing the segment does not provide a pass to the inappropriateness of the segment. Sadly, the writers and producers are most likely not aware of the historical actions of a national hero that could have been Googled." Yeah.
Yikes.
Che didn't just perform it, he wrote that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. That's one of those ones that you're just like...
I digress.
Yeah, where you're just like, when it's someone who's like a war hero, I'm just going to back away for a second.
I'm all for... I don't like to tell a group that is the group involved what to be offended about because it's affecting you in a way I can't understand, so I respect that. But I will say it wasn't about him being a veteran and a hero. It was more about black people, the stereotype that they can't swim.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very much, I mean, like, it's those types of tropes that, like, sometimes, they're kind of, like, played out with certain things of just, like, okay, a joke about black people not being able to swim or, things like that. Or, like, I know they go hard, like, during Winter Olympics on stuff, too. Like, those kinds of jokes are, like, very stereotypical. But also, it's, like, one of those things where you don't want to tell that other group that like don't worry about it, but you're also still like, but it wasn't directed at that group. So you're like, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
I'm just gonna stop talking. You guys figure it out.
Exactly. And if we all want to feel better about ourselves, I think the funniest line from this was actually a direct quote from our president, Donald Trump, saying he does good at rockets about Elon Musk, and then went on to say, we have to protect our geniuses like Thomas Edison. You know, the guy who died in 1931. So we should all feel pretty okay about ourselves as human beings.
I swear to God, if you guys let Thomas Edison die under my watch, I will literally off myself.
It's all Nancy Pelosi's fault. She let Thomas Edison die.
It's all the extreme left wingses. The wingists.
Nope, you know what? Obama. He did it.
It's Obama. You killed Thomas Edison.
How dare. How dare.
I can't believe that's actually our president and he said that.
I like choked when I heard that. Some of the life was choked out of me when I heard that. Oh, God. Let's talk about Aidy Bryant because we need something good in our lives right now. So this is a recurring character. This one wasn't one of my favorites from her, but her delivery still makes me laugh.
It's
when
entertaining.
She does it. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of one-liners, but the next one.
Let's just talk about some white male rage. Let's take a second. Do we have the wine again this week? We need some wine for this.
I wish we had some wine for this.
Oh, screw that. We need a shot of tequila for this one.
We need tequila because our girl is back. Melissa Villasenor, baby. I was so happy to see her trending on Twitter and that so many people really resonated with that sketch because that's exactly the point of comedy and SNL is to have that bridge between current events, politics, and comedy.
Yeah, and seeing her come back to do, like, of course, all we can think about when she came out to do, like, award season stuff last year was her Lady Gaga impression when she sings
So
Shallow.
good.
And the world broke because of how good it was. And this, like, she matched it. No, it wasn't an impression that just made you, like, gave you goosebumps. But it was so on point, such a strong narrative, and so true.
So true.
Oscars love a pissed off white dude. They love it.
They love to see it.
I loved all the specifics that she gave. It was a catchy song. I had it in my head the rest of the day after I watched it.
Me too.
And I liked how even at the end she just got to sneak in like how great Little Women was and that Greta Gerwig got snubbed.
So good because it was really good, you guys. And I know all the girls out there, including myself, you all resonated with Joe. So let's go.
Saoirse Ronan is Joe forever.
She is the Joe that I've been wanting since I was a little girl who read that book.
Oh, 100%. I love that movie so much.
Greta
But I'm so
Gerwig
happy
is
she
such
did
a
that.
champ. I'm glad that she gave her credit in that way.
Thank you, Melissa Villasenor, because she did a hell of a job. And I would also argue that they should have snuck in Lulu Wang as well for a snub in this song because, my goodness.
I don't want to get too into this, but I just want to say, Lulu Wang, bless you. That movie made me weep like a baby from beginning to end.
Yeah. We're off the rails, guys. Forget SNL. We're just going to talk about female directors the rest of this show. But no, I loved that she was able to sneak that in there. And it just made me think of Lulu Wang, too, because those were the two that I was really like, damn it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Neither of them are white men who get very angry and write movies about white men getting angry.
Yeah.
So bye from the Oscars.
Bye, Felicia.
See you never. Let's talk about the medieval times. Have you been to one of these?
Yes. Yes, and I will never go back because where do they outsource those turkey legs? It's very scarring, but I thought this was so funny, so LA, like having these actors so in character, and it's like, bro, you're a yoga teacher, or like you're something that you shouldn't be applying your job to this position, but you are.
Yes. And also, damn, Adam Driver. That look, I don't know. His homemade costume, it was working. It was working for him.
Let me stay platonic. Let me stay platonic.
You're trying to be good.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's okay. My gosh, yeah, the way that, and again, that intensity. He's an angry white male. There we go. But he plays that comedically so well because he commits so hard to the character, and I could totally buy him as some dude who is like a yoga teacher or something, but acts on the side, took a class one time 3 years ago and thinks he has to go off script on this epic character that he's created in his head that was not even given to him.
Not even. I love how Mikey's like, no, you're not. That's not what happened.
And then adding the element of him being like so within the time period that he was also horribly racist to everyone too.
Wait,
and
what did
Bowen
he? Yeah.
just called him the Mongolian, and Bowen just yells "No!" and runs off stage. That like those beats that are just like they add that next level of because this guy who's so into this character probably would just be like, oh yeah, it's a timepiece. It's during this era. I'm really fully going for it. I'm going method on this.
You're so right.
And the clincher for me was at the end saying, I'm SAG-AFTRA eligible. Just proving this,
I forgot about that line. So good.
Again, great button for the end of the sketch. Did you have any other sketches or thoughts on the medieval times?
No, I just really don't want my computer to die so I can stick with y'all in the chat, but go on.
We're going to power through and stick with you guys. The Cheer sketch, have you been watching Cheer?
No, but the intro was exactly what I feel.
I should have, did you watch Cheer?
Did you watch Cheer? No, not yet, but we are AfterBuzz TV, we're the ESPN of TV talk, so this entire building has been buzzing about Cheer just like that for weeks.
Yeah, I think
I already knew they were psychos. Like, all of the rich sports where you need a lot of money to participate just feel psycho.
Yeah.
Ice skating, competitive dance, all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's not for Steph.
Yeah, they're all
gymnastics. I got put on timeout when I was in my first gym class, and
from then on out.
I've always said, if you're someone who's like really into horses, I'm just like suspicious of you. Just like, like horse people.
Horse, equestrian, another rich girl sport.
I just don't know. I'm not going to make any judgments, but maybe quietly and in my head.
100%. I saw a girl the other day at the store who wouldn't 100% came from riding a horse in like her pants and boots, and I was just like...
And was she a bitch?
I was just glaring at her the time. I don't know why, and I think there we go. Jeff Graham solved it. They're
Jeff.
untrustworthy.
Astute
okay.
point.
Or I'll like meet someone like they just like seem like a horse person. That's like the only way I can describe it.
That's like the best passive shade. Yeah. I think they ride horses.
That's like my brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's confused and slightly offended, but they don't know why. And that's, I think, the Cheer folks. They might be horse people as well.
Yeah, it was a really funny sketch. I thought that Chloe did an amazing job at the end when she came in. And I just love how each of their body parts was melted and deteriorating and just under no condition to perform anything.
Yes, but if you pray on it,
praise Jesus.
Praise be. It'll be just fine.
That brings me back to Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, yeah. We did the Righteous Gemstones show together, and oh boy, did we have a fun time doing it.
It's basically an SNL sketch every week, so you should watch that.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus for the marriage of these ketchup bottles. Okay, this was definitely written by someone who had been smoking the entire day.
I think Seth Rogen came in studio and was like, listen... Let's play off my movie because this is funny.
Yes. At first I was just like, what? And then I just started enjoying it so much because they were just so committed and they were so serious. And it was literally just like a soap opera with ketchup bottles.
Yeah.
And I'm into that.
But honestly, let's talk about the realness that is the mix of ketchup and Cholula. It's unmatched. They do need to make that a thing that you can just buy because I'm always like putting it in and mixing it. I don't mind because I'm a witch and I'm used to mixing things, but it gets annoying.
Obviously. Well, maybe this gave it the platform that it needs.
Yeah. Let's
right.
Hope. You're right.
Let's hope. Let's pray on it, y'all. Let's do the special segment.
Yes.
Talk about an anatomy of a sketch. We're going to take it back to the first sketch where it was just about a sleepover at first. It started off in a way that I said, like, oh, God, this is the first of the night. It's really going to be a sketch about an awkward dad talking about a girl who had her period at a party. Like, at first I was a little let down. And then they started to get really into it really quickly of, no, this is going to be about escalation. It's going to be about an embarrassing situation that literally could have been any embarrassing situation that you could experience as a child, whether you're a boy, a girl, anything. And then making it so clear that you need to cover it up, and then it gets higher and higher and higher. This was a masterclass in escalation. We understood where everyone was at, why they're there, who everyone is right away. as it starts really grounded with the idea of a pad was flushed down the toilet, and then someone tried to cover it with toilet paper and, like normal things. And then he's like, but then they also put duct tape over it, and there was water going into the electrical sockets, and that's when it started to get crazy, and you knew that the floodgates were just going to open from there. The timing of Megan coming in, of Kate McKinnon coming in with the hair that's like half electrocuted, the wet clothes, her entrance was the perfect time because it was right as you're starting to think like, they're not showing the girls. I wonder how we're going to find out who did it or where this is going. And then Megan comes in with her hair half out to the side. Great timing for her entrance. She kind of reminded me of Melissa McCarthy characters kind of in that, of her just being like, nah, man, that's sick. That's sick, man. And so from there, it got so crazy. And so here are the best moments of escalation. It went from those normal things to they had to soak it up with water with coats, tried to nail the bathroom door shut, paint it over the handle so no one would know it was a door, tried to order a new toilet on Amazon Prime, and G-chatted someone named Megan's mom saying it happened again like that time at church, but worse. So again, it went from normal, someone tried to cover it up with toilet paper, to trying to buy a new toilet after painting over a door handle so no one would know it's a door. They took it to such crazy extremes and then added this element of Megan also having a 6-year plan of how she's going to marry the hot dad. So all around, they had so many different elements at play. Her callback moments to Mark Harmon, continuously mentioning him. So they used so many great sketch devices while it was still a masterclass in escalation and raising the stakes. And then, of course, it ends with an I am Spartacus moment of them all taking blame, except for Megan, only for the house to blow up, because what else can you do at the end of an escalation sketch but blow it all up and burn it to the ground? I loved it. It started as a sketch I wasn't sure about, and it ended up being one of my favorites of the night.
Dude, yes. Retweet. Full send. Absolutely love this sketch. Adam Driver is the hot dad. And I thought Kate McKinnon was so good in this sketch. I love when she gets raunchy like that.
Yes, she just goes for it. And then so last, I don't know if we have a little bit of, like, a little news.
It's not just a little bit, Amy. This is breaking news! Welcome to the newest report of breaking news brought to you by Steph Sabra on AfterBuzz TV. This last Sunday was the Grammys, and we saw Ariana Grande perform. Why does Ariana Grande matter? Number one, she is Ariana Grande. Number two, she is SNL cast member Pete Davidson's ex, who they were actually engaged to. Now, Ariana Grande performed Thank You Next, which would notoriously mention all of her exes, including Pete Davidson, who she had just broken off an engagement with. Now, where did the shade come? I'll tell you. When she took off her engagement ring, threw it on the bed, and laughed like the cute witch she is. I almost just used another word. Did I just put this in just to talk about Ariana Grande? Absolutely. But I have another piece of news for you. Our very own Leslie Jones came out with her Netflix comedy special, Time Machine, and I have to say it's, excuse my language, fucking hilarious!
Breaking news!
Breaking news! That's been a breaking news segment. Thank you so much.
Also, Shrill dropped on Friday.
Yes, thank you. That's
Love
80
that
Bryant's
show, yes.
baby.
Season 2, Shrill. Everyone watch it. Everyone praise 80 Bryant every chance you get every day in your lives.
Very good.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff.
Very overlooked but wonderful show.
Yes, agreed. I crushed that in a day last time. So excited for this one. And so excited for next week on February 1st. We have JJ Watt and Luke Combs. So we'll see when they have the token athlete of the year player coming on to SNL how he does. So Steph's I had to look him up too. He's a football player apparently. He does the footballs. So we're gonna enjoy that magic next week. Steph, where can we find you in the meantime?
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm Steph Sabra. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabra. Much love, y'all.
I'm Amy Maestri. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amy Maestri. We'll both talk to you about football, obviously.
Yeah, because sports.
See you next week.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.